Disclaimer: no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only. Welcome to the new video. So in this video, we're going to talk about what is Forex and what do ROBOFOREX bots do. So the first thing that's very important to know is what Forex is. So Forex stands for foreign exchange, or just currency, just money. So it is like euro, dollar, or dollar, Canadian dollar. So just those pairs. So that's called pairs. You can trade two of them at the time. So it is one of the biggest financial markets with $5 trillion a day being traded. And it's like in the digital, so you don't actually have to go anywhere and actually trade your money personally. And it's open 24/5. So it means that it's from Monday to Friday, but then Monday on whatever side of the world that Monday is first, and then all the way to Friday when Friday is whatever the last place Friday is at that time. So it means actually that it's actually open more than 5 days due to the time differences. So, but yeah, it's in theory, it's a 24/5 trading day and night, because when it's night here is day somewhere else. So there is also different people are oftentimes like, is it the same as stocks? So it's not the same as stocks. So when you're trading stocks or buy stocks, you're actually buying a piece of a company. So you're kind of being a co-owner of that company. And on the other hand, so on stocks as well, you usually buy it for the long term. So it's not you're going to buy it today and sell it tomorrow. So you're going to buy it today and you're going to keep it maybe a couple of months or maybe a couple of years. So I have ETFs and I buy those just every month, and I just leave them there, and I'll look at it over 20 years and see what's the profit I've made. So also, as it says there, so usually the trading is without leverage. So we're going to talk about leverage in a little bit, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. Now, there are slightly higher transaction costs on stocks, but there are no holding fees. And the holding fees is so how long you are keeping them. So when you buy them and that's it. But when you buy them, you actually have to pay something to the broker and things like that to actually buy them. So that's a little bit different when we talk about Forex, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. And that's all has to do with the leverage. And it only works in a rising market. Not 100% true, but most of the time, yes, because most of the time you buy it when it's low and you just wait until it's higher, and yeah, then you sell it off when you say, okay, this is the highest I think it will go, and then you sell it off and then you buy something else, and that's the idea. You buy it low, you sell it high. Now, with Forex, with the money exchange, it's a little bit different. So you don't actually buy any cash, because we'll see later, you buy actually a very small percentage, and it's not even cents. It's like something even smaller than that. We're going to come back to that in a little bit. So that's what you buy. So you can only buy it digitally. Otherwise, there's no way you can have it. You invest very short. So like minutes, maybe an hour. There's some that go over a day, but usually you want to keep whatever you bought as short as possible, because the changes are very small, but those, because of you are using leverage, actually become really big. And if they go the opposite way, you lose a lot of money. So I'll have an example a little bit later on, and you can see what those are. Now, there are lower transaction costs, so the buying is usually lower, but there are holding costs. That means the longer you buy that, so that's like a little bond or something, a little contract of the dollar pair or the euro dollar pair that you bought, you have to pay for that, and you also have to pay because you are using leverage. So we are actually borrowing money to make our very small margin that we have very big. But we'll come back with that with an example. And it works on, even if the going up or going down, we can still trade. So if we're going up, we're going to say, okay, we're going to hold, we're going to buy, and we're going to bet that it's going up. And you say, look, this is high and it looks like it's going to go down. You're going to bet that it's going to go down, and that can happen. So you can win money when it's going up, and you can win money when it's going down. So that's good, because that's why you can have a lot of trades. Usually you have a lot of trades, very small ones, and they stack up to a lot of money. So how can you make money with Forex? So the usual people say, like, yeah, my money doesn't change very much. So if I look today, I can get $1 with €1. I can get $1.30 or something. I don't know what it is. but tomorrow is going to be the same. So how can I actually trade and have something? Now, that is not actually true. So due to all these things that they're like banking, economics, inflation, crisis, things that happen in a certain area in the world, money actually does fluctuate a lot, but because it's behind, like 3-4 points behind the comma, you don't see it. It's not something you see, but you can actually see when you're trading. That's where we are. That's where the bots or what other people are trading on. There's those small numbers way behind the comma. Now, there's two ways to look at the changing of the market. Now, one is a fundamental analysis, decisions and developments. So that's just looking at the world, looking at the news and seeing what's happening. And then you can say, okay, because this happened, this is going to have an impact on this country, and due to that, that money of that, the coin of that is going to go down or is going to go up. And then you can bet like, okay, it's going down, going up. Now, the other way is the most common way that people do when they're trading is technical analysis. So they look at charts and they pull up lines, and then they have all kinds of strategies. I'm not going to do like if I know what I'm talking about, because I don't. That's why I have a bot that does that for me. I did try to understand, but it was too complicated and too much stress to always be looking and making lines. Some people loved it, great for them, not me. And I suspect that if you're looking at this, you don't want to be behind your computer the whole day trying to not guess, because it's not a guessing, it's an educated guess. So you actually know you're going to predict what's going to happen. Now, so here's an example of profit. So if you're using the bot, at least the ones from AIPOLLO, the minimum money that you put in is €1,000. So that's a little bit more than $1,000, but €1,000. So with that, it's going to trade. Now, on this example, we think that the US dollar is going to rise. So we're going to, let's say we buy with €10, we buy dollars and we get $14, but we don't use them, and then we bring it back, and instead of getting 10 euros back, we got 11 euros back because the money exchange changed. Now, that's how we can do some profit with changing cash. But again, I told you, it goes behind the commas, way behind. So here in our example, we see that the starting point where we bought was 1.1218, so $1.12, and then 18 pips. That's what it's called, those behind the commas. Now, the selling value where we sold was 1.12 cents and then 38 pips. So it rose 20 pips. Like 20 pips, that's nothing. Now, true, it is not much, but because we're doing it with leverage, that 20 pips actually amounts for quite a lot of money. So 20 pips at 10 cents, yeah? And then we are using lot sizes. I'm not going to go too technical on lot sizes and drawdowns and things like that. I'm going to just try to explain what the bot actually does behind the scenes, because what we don't see. And so there we're going to, so for those 20 pips, we're winning, we have a profit of 12 euro. So 12 euro on $1,000, that's 1.2%. That's more than what you are getting on your bank account right now if you leave it there the whole year. So now the new balance will be 1,1200. Now this is leverage when you have profit, but sometimes you also, this also works the other way around. So here we have an example of loss at $1,000. So how does it look? So the starting position was, I just switched it around. So it's $1.1238 and then $1.1218. So it was 20 pips difference, but then the opposite direction. So we thought it was going to go up and it went down. So what will happen is, again, those 20 times 10 cents times 6, it's now 12 euros, but then it's 12 euros loss. So now then it's a negative 1.2%. So the new balance, it will be 988 if I use the calculator correctly. Okay, so trading with with Forex bots. How does automatic trading work with bots? So they automatically buy and sell for you. So the bot is going to do the trades, and they're going to do the trades for you. They use technical analysis, so because the bot cannot see what's happening in the world, he only looks at the charts, and that's where he does his predictions. Now, those are strategies that have been proven years and years, that if this and this happens and this all together, then there's a high probability of 80 or 90% that it's going to go up or going to go down. And if you know that prediction, then you can say, okay, I'm going to bet that it's go up or I'm going to bet that it's go down. and the bot also always looks at the amount of money you have. So if it's gone, then it's not going to trade. Yeah. Okay. So what does it actually do? So the bot, one before it, it's looking there and it's just waiting to do some trades. Now, the first thing it's going to do is look for indicators. So it's going to look at the graphs and all other different statistics. And in there, so it's going to see what's the RSI, the moving average, the trend, all those things that if you want to check out, you can Google those. I may do a video on it later, but it's too technical. And yeah, so it's going to go look at all those things together. And then it's going to say, okay, if all of those things predict a certain path, then it's going to take the next step. Now, what is the next step? So it's also going to use some filters, and these filters, like the spread, the volatility, news and exchange rate. So those are things. So like especially the news for these bots from AIPOLLO, there's actually someone that checks the news and checks what's going to happen in the future to see if it's actually a correct moment to buy or sell. So like at this right now with Christmas and New Year, it's not a good time to trade. Not for all bots. So not all currencies are good to trade right now, so that's why you will see that this moment that some of them are just turned off, they're doing nothing, or they have very small gains because it's not the good moment to do that. And then there's the human touch that the AIPOLLO's bots have, that someone is also looking into, should we do something this week or this day. Now, if that's all green and all good to go, then the bot is going to enter. Yeah, it's going to say, okay, how much are we going to do? It's going to do a pre-order. So what does it mean? It's going to buy and check, like, okay, is it actually going to go the way I planned? So he buys and says, okay, it's going to go up. But he doesn't buy the whole thing. Just going to buy a little bit and say, okay, let's check if it goes up. If it goes actually up, say, okay, so we predicted it correctly. The news is okay. It's actually going the right position. So now we're actually going to buy what we set. And so the amount of lots that we want to do. So that's what it's going to buy. Now, after buying, it's going to manage whatever is going to happen. So it's going to check, like, is it going up what we expect, or is it going down? And it's okay if it goes down. If everything still says that no, it's still going to go up, we can hold. We can hold it, and then sometimes it dips a little bit and goes up again. So in those moments, there can even be an option like, okay, we think that it's still going to go up, so we're going to buy again at that lower point, and then it's going to go up. That way, you have two entries for the same pair, and then the average of those two will be a win in the end. Now, of course, that can also be that it keeps going down, and if it does that, it's going to say, okay, then we have to stop. So that will be the next one. So the exit. So if it goes up, we're going to say, okay, is this the amount I suspected to win? If yes, okay, we're going to take our profit. If it goes underneath a certain balance that we think, okay, the risk is too high, that it's going to go much lower than this, we stop. Because before you do any trade, you want to know, okay, when will I get out? And when will I get out when I have a profit, and when I'll get out when I have a loss? And that's something when people trade, not bots, but people trade, they're like, oh no, I'm going to keep there because it's going up, so I'm going to keep it there. Yeah, and then usually then it goes down very fast, and then you lose everything. So that's one of the good things of bots. They don't have the feelings like, hey, I'm gonna do it. So that's the last thing that it does: take the profit or take the loss if necessary. Now, so here we can see now the bot, and there's there's a graph here on the right side. We can see, like, okay, the idea is, okay, he on point 1, it's going to buy. So that's he thought, okay, is it going to go up? Yeah. Now he buys, but then you can see from point 1 to point 2, it's going down. Like, okay, so, and you can get, if you're a person, you're going to get nervous, like, oh, maybe I should sell everything. And now, but the bots looks at all those, has a strategy and looks all of the parameters and says, no, it should still go up, and everything is still in the margin what we expect that could be happening. So what's going to do is going to say, okay, we are going to buy again. So that's what happened here on the set on number 2. It's going to buy again, and then you can see here on the lower graph. I hope you can see my mouse. Yeah, my mouse is visible. You can see that it went up, and actually ended higher than number 1. Now, of course, if you only had number 1, you would have a small profit. But because you bought in number 2, the 2 has a big profit together with number 1, and together you have a good profit. So it's not the best profit, the maximum profit, because maximum profit would be 2 to whatever you sold it to, but because you have 1, but then the small loss you made between 1 and 2, you made up with 2 to whatever you sold. Okay, so that's the main idea. That's what the bots do, and it's the trading in its like nutshell. Very, very simple. So what are the pros and cons of trading with a bot? So one of the main pros are it's as a fixed strategy. So that's a bad thing when people change their ideas, you know, like, oh, I'm going to go and do this, and then halfway you say, oh no, I'm going to go something else. So then you never know, was my strategy wrong, or did the market change? So that's bad. So fixed strategy, also good. They are very, very fast, so they can analyze a lot of information very quickly and decide, okay, with everything that is in there, it's going to go up or going to go down, or I should not, I should buy or should sell. It can multitask. Oh, the M is gone. Multitask multiple things at the same time. It can work 24/7. It's not afraid to lose money or win money. It doesn't care. It doesn't get overconfident. It's a bot, and there's no greed. And that's, yeah, we know that when we are doing good, we're going, oh, I'm going to trade some more. I'm going to put some money extra in there, and then poof, and then it's gone. Yeah? So that's that happens a lot. And don't ask me how I know. So also, what are negatives? So it doesn't have fundamental analysis. So it doesn't know what is happening in the world. Yeah. So if there's let's say a fire somewhere, big fire, or a big accident somewhere, it doesn't know that. So it cannot take that into account. So that's why with the AIPOLLO bots, there's someone that actually looks at the news and says, okay, oh, this big thing happened, we need to turn it off. Or you actually can turn it off yourselves, but I don't. I have total confidence in the AIPOLLO and the people behind it, and I don't do anything. They do it. I just look at the end of the month and say good or bad depending on what happened. Difficulty with unexpected, yeah, because they follow a fixed strategy. For something changes very quickly, they don't understand. And no idea what's going in the world. Again, that's the fundamental analysis. He doesn't know. So what are the risks of automated Forex trading? So we work with leverage. Yeah. So you saw that the pips are very small. There's very small thing behind the comma. So if you only buy that, you're not going to make any money. So you have to bet with the leverage. So it means if you buy 1, so these bots use 500. So if you buy 1, it's going to be multiplied by 500. Yeah. So it's going to be 1, it's going to be 6 cents, 5 cents. So it's going to be a lot more. The problem is, if you make money, it's going to be multiplied by 500. But if you make a loss, it's going to also be multiplied by 500. So that's something to keep in mind. What is the leverage that the bot is using? You can go from 0. There's no point in that. But like 500 to 1,000. Yeah, and that's then if you go to 1,000, then yeah, the gains are a bit bigger, but the losses are also a lot. Now, if you don't have a well set up bot, what may happen is if there is a loss and there is nothing managing the risks, it can go so low that will bomb your account. Bombing your account, it means that boom, 0, nothing there. And if you are really unlucky, some of them can even go negative, and it means that you have to put money into your account because it went so low that everything was gone and even more. Yeah, it's like being in red in your credit card. So you don't want that. So AIPOLLO has a set limit that you can go to, and underneath that it will just automatically stop the trades. If those happen a lot of times, that it usually doesn't happen, but if it will, even if it goes almost to 0, it will stop everything, and you can never lose more than what you put in. That's the thing. You can never have that. So that's good to know. As a user, you can only intervene to a certain limit. So here with the AIPOLLO bots, you can put them on pause. So you can say, okay, I'm going to stop it for now, or you can change the leverage. How much leverage are we actually going to use on the account? This is going to be 500, or maybe you say like that's too much, so it's 250. So you can do half. So that you can do that. Otherwise, it's just going to be the standard 500. Just a second. Okay. So, and the next one is there may be disruptions taking place in technology. So, of course, power goes down, computer breaks, things like that, something can happen. The AI Apollo bots are set in a server where the banks have their servers, so those are the best place there can be. But there are other bots, Forex bots, that can that work just, yeah, you can buy one and put it on your laptop and just run it 24/7 or 24/5. But yeah, then if your laptop crashes or the internet connection is gone or something like that, all kinds of things can happen. So I will make another video on how you can select bots. So if you think, okay, I want to, it's good that I say like, oh yeah, Apollo bot is the best thing there is, but if you don't believe me and you want to still shop around, I'm going to make a video on how you should select them and things to think about, because it is important. Especially if you can also have someone trade for you, and the same things apply as I will talk in that video. So it will be in the future. So if you want to see that video, then yeah, subscribe, then you will get to see it when it comes out. Okay, so what bots do AI Apollo have? So AI Apollo has Mr. Egg, Mr. Joe Egg, Mr. Guts, Mr. Carry, and Mr. Gold. And in the future, there will be other bots that they are working on. And you can see there's a medium and high risk ones. So if you are following me, you know that I have Mr. Guts. It's a high risk bot. So high risk means high gains and high losses. I was before in Mr. Egg as a medium to high risk. But yeah, the gains were not what I expected. I was okay with losing a little bit more if that was possible. So if that happened, has also happened, but it's okay. So you can see there, and we're going to go in just a little bit into ROBOFOREX, to AI Apollo, and I'm going to check out what those bots are, and you can read all about them. Now, here is how they stand at this moment. And at this moment, the average of all of them, if you have like $1,000 in all of them, you would be up 23.7%. Yeah, the highest yield bot is the one I'm in. That is 62%. You can see here in the graph, as my mouse, there it is. So it's 62%. Unfortunately, I got in just when it was here somewhere, like here. So I am still a little bit in a loss, but it's going okay, so no problem there. I have total I believe in them, no problem. Now the next one is with lowest yield is Mr. Egg at 6.2. The highest win factor has been for Mr. Gold with 5.16%, so in a week time, so that's really good. And Mr. Egg, this as being the middle high risk one, also has the lowest win factor of 1.26%. But even then, if you're getting 1.2% on your bank account right now, you have a good bank account. You're not getting that. You're maybe actually losing money if you have money in your bank. Okay, I'm going to jump into AI Apollo site, and I'm going to show you where you can read up on them. So let me see. So we are in AI Apollo at their site at AIPOLLO.com. And here on the top, you can see here are bots. You can go and select one of these, and you can see that about the same graph that I used, because it's been, yeah, I just made it, so this has been the updated one. Now, if I go and I check out, like, let's say Mr. Gold, you can read on the right side here the strategy, what strategy is using it now. You can hear some other information, absolute profit, compound profit until now, what strategy is using, things like that. You can also see here the graph. And one of the things that's also very important, that this is they're registered. So this is not a bot that you buy on the black market or someone makes it for you. They're registered. And if you go on my FX book, you click here, you can actually see for every bot, every percentage it has been made from the beginning, from when it started. Yeah, so if I go back and I go to my bots and Mr. Guts, where I'm in, and I also go here into my, you can see now that we are plateaued here. Go to my Forex. There it is. See, so we are here, and at this moment it is 79.6% profit if you started in May when it was launched. Yeah. So we went all the way to, let's see, 130+% on your what it did, and it had two little dips, and now we are still at almost 80%. So that that's insane. That's super good. Now, one thing for the future is that AI is not there just to make it fancy. So there is actually an artificial intelligence running at this moment next to the bot that is doing the things, and it's giving tips on how to better the strategy. So like I'll say, oh, this strategy could be tuned up a little bit. Now, in the future, from what I understand, from what I talked to the programmer, he's from January, February, that AI is actually going to be running simultaneously with the bot, giving it extra information on what to do, like sell, buy, and managing the risk. So that's very important, because now at this moment we have, for at least for Mr. Guts, you can have a maximum drawdown of 25%. If you hit that, it's going to close everything, and that's what happened twice. But now it's going to be much lower, because the AI had learned exactly what was going on, what the bot was doing, where it could be done a little bit better. So there's going to be smaller drawdowns. That's going to be good for the overall profit on the long run. So I'm really looking forward into that. So if you guys want to read up on this, please do go to AIPOLLO.com, read on the bots. If you have any questions, put them down in the description. I will in the comments. I will read those. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of this content. And if you like the information I gave you, a thumbs up will help the algorithm a lot and help me a lot as well. So thank you very much, and see you guys on the next video.